So against my normal judgment, I ended up seeing Suicide Squad, and let me tell you, it is interesting to be on a different side from what anticipated, because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than supposed better movies that have come out for this below-par summer. My only question is whether it's due to lowered expectations, or just getting something much different from what I expected. Let me be on record for context. I was actively infuriated with DC and Warner Brothers' previous attempt in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice because of its agonizing editing. Plenty of films disappoint me with their lame-brained ideals, but this was a rare time that the choppy editing regularly pissed me off. That, along with a terrible dialogue, a pretentious story that amounted to nothing, and the mother of all stupid plot twists, it was easily the worst blockbuster I've paid money to see in cinemas. Though the two good scenes in it are why I can at least understand why fans seem to like it. I'm aware of the ridiculous amount of production issues that this has gone through. The director had 6 weeks to write the screenplay, and Warner Brothers continued to sabotage the movie through cuts and reshoots, trying to make it both the director's and the studio's version. That's always a great sign they want to please everyone, which usually amounts to pleasing no one. That, along with the flood of negative reviews that poured in for Suicide Squad, I was expecting it all over again. Knowing all of that, I was shocked that Suicide Squad was cohesive enough. By no means is it a good movie. The first half hour is a gigantic pile of exposition, suddenly the villain starts their take over the world plan, and the last 90 minutes is everyone trying to save the world. Almost the opposite of Fantastic. Incidentally, it is this structural problem that I can see why there were so many bad reviews. Suicide Squad is possibly one of the dumbest laid out movies I've ever seen. However, while Batman v Superman actively angered me, I was amused watching this. Perhaps the lesson here is in that the competence in the people hired balanced out Warner Brothers' ineptitude just enough. I guess I'm talking pros now. Director David Ayer has done good work in the past, and was one of the few people who could have pulled this off. The villains turned heroes are all distinct enough and interesting enough that they maintained my interest throughout. Will Smith as Deadshot and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn stole a good chunk of the film as expected, but I would say El Diablo and Captain Boomerang were interesting enough on their own. Even the smaller characters like Katana, Killer Croc, and Rick Flag were memorable enough. Amanda Waller is interesting, but mostly compelling, only due to her actress. Jared Leto as the Joker was amusing enough, but likely due to him in small doses. Even Batman was better in the 2 minutes here than in Batman v Superman. Look, there's a lot of actors, okay? The action and character designs were actually kind of fun as well. I did appreciate the efforts made with more practical effects and on-screen makeup over CG. For example, did you know that they went for Killer Croc and practical makeup instead of King Shark being done in motion capture? Sometimes you have to appreciate a movie more for its intents than its results. As another note, the reason why there's a lot of practical stunt work is they actually managed to swipe a bunch of people who had done Mad Max Fury Road. So, explains a few things. The cons, the villain and the CG for said villain. Somehow the least compelling character in a crowded movie who gets saddled with truly awful CG for their big laser in the sky that is eerily similar to what we saw in Fantastic. Ultimately, the villain mattered little in the grand schemes and the movie was just a big excuse plot. I should note that my knowledge of comic book characters is more in their names than in their characters. I'm enjoying this despite being a critic, not a fan. I'm a contradiction that petition can't seem to understand. Bottom line, despite being mostly Guardians of the Galaxy for the Hot Topic crowd, this was the right kind of stupid fun. It's a true popcorn movie, and I would much rather see DC and Warner Brothers making their films silly than meaningful. So this is what they mean by guilty pleasure. Warner Brothers really needs to get their shit together regardless.